We all wish we could bring our Disney vacation home with us, right? To have that Disney feeling every day? Well, why not start your day the Disney way with a Disney blend from Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company? With over 23 varieties to choose from the French bistro you find in your resort room to the Yachtsman Steakhouse and Gico, of course, and now Joffrey's newest Disney blend, Le Cellier. Why not start your day with that Disney magic? Order yours today at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To our new passengers, aloha and welcome aboard.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. This is Tim Scott next to a newly tan Bob Collar.
If only I were tan. Spent an awful lot of time running around with some fantastic people from Looper Nation.
It looks like you had a great time around the Walt Disney World Resort just last week.
It was so much fun. I can't thank folks enough for taking the time to come on out and spend that time with me. Very humbling experience, I got to tell you, that people would take the time out of their vacation because we really only had 2 locals that were there.
Wow.
The rest of the folks all were on vacation and took their time to come and say hello and spend a little bit of time with me at Captain Cook's and riding the monorail and definitely over at Tea Traders. So,
and you couldn't stop saying how nice everyone was.
Everybody's
just
wonderful.
Everything he was sending back, texting or calling me on the phone, just kept saying everybody has been so nice.
Absolutely. And what was even, I thought was really nice that I really enjoyed was that they weren't just waiting to talk to me. They were all talking among themselves as well and making new friendships that I think are going to last for a while in the Disney community. So very nice. Tea Traders, the folks over at Tea Traders, incredible.
Wow. I watched your videos from there. Just looks like everybody there was having a fantastic time.
Great time. I got a special shout out to the manager of Tea Traders, Elvis, for being so wonderful, and his entire staff. I know they were on their best behavior because the boss was there.
Yeah, I don't think they misbehave anyway. I think they love what they're doing there.
And it shows because everything that we got to sample from the Tea Trader staff and Chris deMezzo was incredible.
You said Chris was waiting on people there.
Chris was a waiter.
The head roast master is serving people beverages at Tea Traders.
And incredible beverages. I got to tell you, they were spot on. Everything was so good. Just very nice that they were willing to host our very first official Looper meet.
Wow, that's awesome.
And we've got some special news coming up, possibly a Looper meet in April. We're announcing it now.
We are?
We are. But I do want to say this, and I didn't even talk to you about this.
Uh-oh.
I do want to say this. I would like everyone out there in Looper Nation who is going to be in the Walt Disney World area in the spring, please email us. Don't put it out on social media, but email us dates that you're going to be there.
Okay, yes.
Because we want to try and make sure that we're going to be there when the most loopers are going to be there, so we can really spend time with you guys.
So get a consensus on maybe the most people will be down there, be able to
right, so that we can then pick the exact date, and we're going to partner with peoplemovertravel.com to possibly get us some really cool discounted rates.
Oh, how cool would that be? This is going to be awesome time.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, I got to thank Chris deMezzo, his lovely wife, Linda, and all of the folks at Tea Traders for a great time. And that's what this show is going to be about today.
Fantastic.
So here we are at the very first official Looper meet at Tea Traders.
Roll that tape, Bob.
Hey everybody, Resort Loop Bob here. We are live in Tea Traders. We just wrapped up our first official Looper meet here at Tea Traders. They've been fantastic with us. Everybody in the entire organization, including Elvis. Yes, the manager's name is Elvis. You can't beat that name. That's fantastic. And of course, I got the wonderful, very talented head roast master, COO of Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company, Chris deMezzo, is with me. Chris, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thank you for hosting our very first Looper meet. Are you exhausted now?
No. Glad to be here.
Well, we're sure glad that you're here, that you took the time to come over from Tampa, and you guys got a lot of stuff going on here at Tea Traders that's a little bit different than what it used to be, because Tea Traders just was tea. So what's going on here at Tea Traders now?
Well, we've introduced a fine line of organic coffees now, excuse me, to complement our tea selections. So many people were coming in to our store and seeing the sign, "Oh, Joffrey's," and requesting a cup of coffee.
Right.
And, the disappointed looks on their faces was killing us. So we approached Disney and asked for permission to be able to start serving coffee, so that at least when a couple comes in, excuse me, you can take myself, excuse me, for an example. I'm a avid coffee drinker, go figure, but my wife loves tea.
Right.
So if we were to come in together, only one of us were going to be happy. So we wanted to make sure that every guest that comes in leaves here happy. So we approached Disney, and they were kind enough to go ahead and say, "Yeah, you can do coffees." So my being the geek that I am, said, "Okay, we're going to do coffee, but I don't want to do just coffee. Let's kick it up a notch."
Right.
So I went and sourced a bunch of organic micro lots, which is kind of looking for the cream of the crop of certain origins.
Oh, yeah.
And introducing those, and not just serving coffee out of a server, but doing it my favorite way, which is via French press, and being able to just give, that above average cup of coffee.
Absolutely, and it is. And if folks want to pick up even a bag of it to take with them, you're selling the bags here now of the organic coffee, which is something new.
Absolutely, because when they come in, if they've never been exposed to coffee done by a French press, and they experience the unique flavors, the intense flavors that you get out of brewing the coffee that way, naturally they want to bring that experience home.
Absolutely.
So all of my lovely baristas and tea smiths that are here are well versed and trained on how to explain to the guests how to do this at home. Right. So we actually have the beans and the actual French presses for sale, so that you can recreate that same experience at home.
Outstanding. And it is, we sampled a little bit earlier. You showed, if anybody is on Facebook, you can go to Facebook, my Facebook page. I did a Facebook Live with Chris. He showed the exact perfect way to do the French press. I was doing it pretty close, but now I know I'm doing it just a little bit wrong, so I'm going to work on that. Because it is, when we drank the, which one did we have? The Costa Rica?
We had the Costa Rica La Amistad.
Yeah, it was incredible. And I did have some at home, and it was very good, but as soon as I saw how I was doing it wrong and you were doing it right, it made it even better. So I'm gonna make sure that I do a little bit better next time. So what else you got going on? You've got you're getting ready to head someplace else now for some more coffee. Where are you going next?
I had a trip scheduled to Brazil that I had to postpone because we have a bunch of things coming up that I have to finish working on. The last project is about 3 weeks ago. My wife and I were out in Hawaii.
Oh, that's
right. And they are right in the first quarter of their harvest cycle. So I went out to Kona, toured the Big Island. And while I was there, when we opened Tea Traders, one of the ladies that is a very, very experienced tea lady told me about a farm that was on the Big Island that grows tea. And I was like,
really?
I was enamored. I was like, oh my God, really? So I buy Kona on one side of the island, and I drive across to the other side to Kau, and I buy coffee over there. In the middle is Hilo, where the volcano is, and right on the other side of the volcano is this woman's tea farm.
Really?
So my wife and I took a little detour, and this woman grows this amazing tea on the Big Island of Hawaii.
I had no idea.
I didn't either, to be honest with you. And it's an amazing tea. It's very expensive, but like everything else out of Hawaii.
Yeah.
But it's a really unique garden in a really, really unique house up in the top of a hill, of course. And she does all of her own processing right there on this little farm. She does a black Orthodox tea and a green Orthodox tea. And I couldn't believe a green tea out of Hawaii could really be as good as this green tea was.
Really?
So it was a really nice trip to be able to do coffee and tea in the same trip.
Yeah.
Normally, that'll happen maybe in Kenya, a little bit in Peru, but it was really, really interesting to see that in Hawaii of all places.
Right.
And the coffee on both sides of the island was very good.
Oh yeah.
So it was a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you got all the Disney blends. Any new Disney blends you're working on yet?
We just relaunched or launched, and I apologize, it's hard for me to keep up sometimes, the La Cellier.
Oh yeah.
And I believe Tiffin's, which is the new restaurant
That's
in
the new one.
Disney Animal Kingdom, is either online or coming online.
I believe that's, I'm not sure if that one's out yet.
It might not be.
Yeah.
Probably going to get Marilyn very upset with me for spilling the beans.
Bringing it up, right. So, they're so good, the Disney blends, and you're working directly with the chefs from these restaurants so that you get the flavors they're looking for, right?
Yeah, when they're in the development stage, they have a whole concept development team of very skilled professionals, of course. And when they're designing that, they call us in and they'll have me sit with the chefs and what kind of cuisine will you be serving, and what kind of a statement is it that you'd like to make with your coffee. You have to pair the coffee to the particular type of restaurant. If it's a theme, like we did a blend for Port Orleans, the restaurant that's in Port Orleans, Boatman's.
Oh yeah.
A chicory blend. It's a
really?
New Orleans with chicory coffee.
Yeah.
So we did a blend for them that you can get now at your table, French press, which is
very
nice.
Oh my gosh.
And then what Disney's done in the last month or so is they've started to implement French press service at all of their table service restaurants, which is something that they hadn't done before. But they're being able to up the guest experience if you wanted to have a coffee French press after dinner. And they stepped up up their game, and they're using an organic Colombian across all the restaurants that don't have their own proprietary blend, which a lot of the table services do not. But it's a step above what the regular coffee service is. If you want a French press, you're going to get an organic Colombian, which is a really, really... You wouldn't believe you were drinking a Colombian with the fruit notes that are in this coffee.
Man.
Exceptional cup of coffee.
Folks, if you're going to get coffee at one of the restaurants, one of the sit-down restaurants, then you've got to ask for the French press, because I'm telling you, it will change the way you drink coffee. It really will. It's just so much better than a drip coffee maker. I mean, drip coffee makers are fine. I get that. I use one at home too. But if you got the time, French pressing is the way to go. And especially if you're at a Disney restaurant and you want a nice cup of coffee with your meal. One of the things you guys have started to do on social media, and I know you don't like you don't. It's not that you don't like social media; it's that you don't have the time for social media.
I'm a dinosaur.
But Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company has been matching up foods and desserts with your coffee online. So make sure you guys are following Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all those social medias, because you guys are putting that out there, which is fantastic. It's a great way to match it. Very similar to wines and food. The coffee and certain foods just go so well together that is a great service.
I like to be able to do that, but I'm always concerned that I have coffees that I call bacon and egg coffees, where It's a lighter coffee. That's something I'd say would be a breakfast coffee. And then say you're going to Yachtsman Steakhouse for dinner, and you tear into one of those delicious New York strips, and then your dessert is going to be death by chocolate.
Right,
you know, what I consider the bacon and egg coffee would get lost in all that rich, savory, food that they're putting in front of you.
Yeah.
So you want a nice, bold coffee that's going to stand up to that and be like a really nice, long, lingering finish that, you really completes the meal.
Yeah.
But then again, why I get always worried about that is what I think might go well. Somebody else might say, well, I don't really think of that. The best coffee you ever have is the coffee that you like.
Well, that is true too.
Everybody's, it's such a personal coffee, such a personal. I've had coffees that I'm like over the top, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest coffee. And even when I'm sitting at the cupping table with Miguel, I'll push it over to him and say, tell me, what do you think? This is great. And he's, I don't like it. And I'm like, and I look at him like, what? And then, you don't want to be in the room when what do you know?
But that's the great feedback that you get from your employees. They're going to be honest with you because they care about the product as well. It's not like, whatever Chris says, that's what we got to do. They want to put out that great product just as much as you do. So
one of the things I love about Miguel is he's a mini me. He feels very, very strongly, and he's extremely passionate about what he does. And he cares.
Yes,
I mean, he's got the qualities that has to come from within. That is not something I can teach him the basics, but some of that has to come from within, that desire to want it to always be its best. And when you're standing back there in the Florida heat, in the summer for 9-10 hours, and you have to have that dedication and discipline to sit there through every roast and not be like, if I hurry this up, I can be in the air conditioning in 10 minutes versus it's going to be done this way because this is the way it has to be done to be the right way. That
is amazing, and that you don't find that too much anymore. We talked earlier about some of these coffees that come in that unsavory folks are trying to pass off as good coffee, and all it takes is you guys to try it, and you go, this isn't what you're saying it is. So it comes through. It comes through in every cup of coffee. I've had many of them, and everyone's been just fantastic. Especially now these new organic blends. So how did that all come up? How did you end up with the organic blends anyway?
I actually was on a trip to Peru earlier this year with one of my importers, and a subsidiary of their company is a company that's called Organic Products Trading Company.
Oh, okay.
That was founded by a gentleman years ago that was helping these impoverished farmers. I believe it started in Peru or Guatemala. And this young lady took this trip with us, and I started to talk to her. I said, so you're dealing in mainly organics? And it was never really a big part of Joffrey's business, but all this last couple of years I've gotten more and more requests for organic coffees.
Yeah.
And again, I'm like an importer's worst nightmare because I'm just so hard to please. And I started to explain to this young lady what I was talking about and why I sometimes frowned upon organics. When I'm cupping a coffee, I want to put on the table blind. I don't want to know what it is. I don't want to know if it has a certification. I don't want to know if it has anything attached to it until I'm done. Then when I'm done, I'll have, out of maybe 20, 25 cups, I'll have 3 in the center of the table, and I'll say, okay, tell me about these 3. And then if it happens to turn up that it's got a cert, great. If not, I mean, I want to judge the coffee on its merits, not on any certifications that are attached to it, because a certification of organic or shade grown or fair trade is nothing more than a piece of paper saying that this is what has nothing to do with quality. Nothing at all to do with quality. So a lot of people, upcharge for coffee because it has a certification attached to it,
Right.
but it could be a lousy cup of coffee.
Right.
So
right.
when I started explaining my
Yeah.
feelings and fears to this young lady, she said, well, I want you to come with me and meet some of the farmers and some of these origins and let me show you what they're doing. And these guys are doing it the right way.
There you go.
Micro lots, they small
Yeah.
farms produce anywhere from 5 to 25, 30 bags total per year.
Yeah. Yeah.
All organic.
Yeah.
Most of them are fair trade as well, all shade grown. So they have all the certifications that people are looking for today. And
Why
they
shade
produce
grown? What's the
exceptional-
deal with the shade grown? What's that all about?
It's sustainability.
Okay.
One of the big things that you'll see soon, and I'm going to get myself in trouble, is Disney, the company, is a partner with an organization called Conservation International.
Okay. Right.
One of the other big roasters is another big partner of theirs that had done some work in, I believe, Brazil or Guatemala. And they partnered with Conservation International with some work in the Amazon rainforest in Peru.
Oh, wow.
So about 2 years ago, I was approached by a young lady from Disney's corporate. Said, we are working with this group in the Amazons in Peru to help some coffee farmers. They want to stop clear cutting the Amazon rainforest.
Oh, yeah. Very
Would you be
important.
interested in going to see them and maybe we could serve some of their coffee on property? I said, I have to be honest with you, I've never heard of this organization, and I've asked a couple of my importers and they weren't very familiar. I said I'd be more than willing to meet with them, but again, I don't bring in anything into my menu, into my repertoire, unless A, I know who these people are, and I
Right.
vet them, thoroughly vet them, and then I want to try their coffee. So 2 years ago, I went out to Peru with this young lady and my importer, and we went out in the middle of nowhere in the Amazons
Wow.
and met with the people from Conservation International and this group of farmers in the regions called Alto Mayo in the Amazon
Alto Mayo.
rainforest of Peru.
Okay.
And lo and behold, Conservation International is the real deal.
Okay.
And these
All right.
farmers were great people.
All right.
So they're really doing what sustainable farming, they're educating and helping fund this group of farmers. Instead, they used to go in and clear cut all
Right.
the precious rainforest
Right.
because they figured, we could put more trees and we could grow more coffee. What they don't realize is that by doing so, they're actually doing it in reverse. Coffee trees like and thrive in shaded areas, and they actually yield
okay.
more coffee, and it's better for the surrounding environment, the habitat, the birds, and
Right,
everything else that are
right.
there, versus going in and clear cutting. So they're helping them preserve the land, and they're helping them learn better, more productive farming techniques and processing techniques, teaching them how to treat the wastewater before. So I mean, it's a win-win. It's a
Yeah,
project that
yeah.
works the way it's supposed to be working. So the first year they grew some coffee, and they made the rookie mistake of selling everything they had to the first guy that came by and offered them something.
Really?
So that year I said, okay guys, I love what you're doing. I want to help support you, but next year, wait till I get here.
Save me
Don't sell
something.
to, yeah, exactly. So we went back again this year and went on the tour, met with everybody, and sampled a bunch of different coffees and found an actual lot of coffee, and a lot is a container load.
Okay.
250
Okay.
bags, 38,500 pounds. Found a lot, and I said, bought, sold.
Nice.
So I bought that
Nice.
container. It's currently afloat. It's going to land in Miami in the next week or so.
Yeah.
And we will be serving that coffee in select restaurants. And I'm sure we'll be
very
offering
nice.
it online as well.
Very nice.
So we are going to be directly supporting the sustainable
All right.
coffee and supporting their efforts of what they're doing
Yeah.
over there in Peru.
Well, I tell you what, that's one of the things, and we'll make sure that we let everybody know when that comes in, and when that's available to everybody. But that's one of the things that we absolutely love about you guys at Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company is you guys go out and actually search out organizations and coffee farms and I'm guessing tea as well.
Yes.
That are really at the grassroots. I mean, you're doing that Cafe Feminino that's helping female farmers. You're helping underprivileged farmers all around the world. You're not just going in like all of these other, massive coffee corporations and going, we'll take whatever you got and we'll make it work. You guys make sure that you get the best coffee, and you're doing it helping people, which is, I just think is amazing. It's wonderful that you're willing to do that. So thank you as a coffee drinker or a tea drinker for helping other people out.
I found out long ago when I first started, my introduction into coffee was being thrown into a situation, and my first year of roasting was like, oh God, please don't let me burn the building down. And then I was bitten by the bug, which thank God is still with me today. I keep telling you I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I get to get up every morning and do something I love. And that passion that drives me is I'm never satisfied. I can always want to do a better job. But after about 10 years of roasting, I thought I had become pretty good at roasting, but I couldn't, I thought I had affected as much change as I possibly could at my end. Now I'm like, okay, so what goes on over at the other end? And that's when I started traveling over to Origin, meeting with the farmers and finding out that we are pretty good at roasting, but we don't know anything about growing or producing.
Right, sure.
You go over there and you find out that they're pretty darn good at growing coffee, but they don't know a thing about roasting.
Yeah.
So they don't know how to try and cup their own coffees.
Is that right?
Yeah, and that was years ago. Now it's different.
Right.
But back then, in the beginning, it wasn't that way. So we would teach them how to cup, and then we would tell them, okay, this is good, but try not keeping it in the ferment tank so long, or store it, where it's not so humid and the coffee won't pick up so much moisture. And by doing so, they were able to produce better coffee and get more money for it, so they are able to invest in their own infrastructure. We benefit because now all of a sudden they're sending us better beans.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
That's a win-win working relationship.
Absolutely.
And that's the way it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And now they're kind of doing the same thing with different processing methods, with the honey coffees and the natural coffees, which are real big now, which is something different.
Yeah.
And the micro lots now you see big roasters like the ones out of Seattle now that are coming out with these reserve micro lots.
Yeah.
And that's, it's all about trying to find that. I always want to know whom we're doing business with.
That is wonderful.
If I can sit here in front of you and tell you these guys are doing it right, should you ever go over there, I don't want anybody to ever come back and say, oh, that's not true.
Yeah.
If I'm saying that, Joffrey's is doing this, you can take it to the bank that that's exactly what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So we want to just make sure that we know that the people that are supposed to be benefiting are the ones that are benefiting.
Well, it comes through so much in your coffee because I've said this before. I've sampled just about, well, there's no way I can sample just everything you've got, but because there's so many. But I've sampled so many different blends and the organics now, and I haven't had a bad cup of coffee yet. I have my favorites, but every cup of coffee has been just fantastic. There's no bad cup that I've ever had coming from Joffrey's, and it comes through with the amount of work that you do going overseas. I know, you're kind of leaving your wife taking care of the office while you're all over the world taking care of us. So we appreciate that, and it's one of those things that everybody needs to know, and that's why we're here talking with you. Is the passion that you put into it isn't just I really love coffee, so I like doing this. You care about the growers as well, and that's huge.
Without them, we're not existing, you know.
Right.
And then I got to compliment, my partner Miguel and his team, Tony and Ryan. When you come to work for us, if you don't have the passion, you don't last very long.
Yeah.
Because we're just crazy.
Yeah.
If we see somebody that's not, our own guys that are running a machine, if you come and you grab a bag off the machine, they're gonna, what are you doing? Why are you touching that? You can't do that. This is why. Everybody knows how important their role is in the finished product.
Absolutely.
Everybody's important. Everybody buys into it.
Yeah.
We're here for a reason.
Yeah.
And the reason is to hear things.
And
that
it
you're
shows.
saying is that you didn't have a bad cup.
Right.
There's a lot of guys working very hard to make sure that you never get that.
Yeah.
And like I was joking with you earlier, Miguel and I drink a lot of bad cups of coffee to make sure that never happens
Thank
to you
goodness.
or any one of our other customers.
Right, and we appreciate that. And you, not just you guys, but you make your employees sample some stuff too in the break room to let us know what you think of this. Tim wanted to find out from you which is more difficult, or which do you enjoy more, sourcing the coffee or the tea?
Oh God. I am with tea now where I was kind of with coffee in year 5, where I've started, I got a pretty good base knowledge, and I'm expanding that with all the different types, and then when you get into the types, now you go into the subtypes, the subcategories, and different types of plants and different terroirs and flavor characteristics. So now I'm in that, absorb mode.
Okay.
Where I'm sourcing out people with many years. It's the same exact thing I did with coffee 30 years ago, but I want to absorb all that knowledge so I can then take that knowledge back to my little lab and start the creative process.
Do what
to
you
make
did a long time ago.
Yeah.
That is
'Cause
awesome.
I'm learning how different teas interact with one another, which is how I did with coffee. I'd throw some beans in here, roast it this way, and it'd be like, oh, that's pretty good, but...
Yeah.
And I'd go home and I'd be, in the middle of the night, I'd wake up and say, wait a minute, I know what I should have done. I should have done it at this temperature with this. And the next day, I try it, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty good.
There you go.
So I'm doing the same thing with tea and finding out what flavors complement, like fruit flavors go good with certain teas, not so well with others.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm enjoying right now the red raspberry. At the suggestion of everybody here at Joffrey's, I went up, there were 4 of your employees sitting up there, and I said, all right, which one out of these 2 should I have? And all of them said, red raspberry. Got to have the red raspberry. It's fantastic. It is so good. It's a little bit warm out there tonight, so it's very refreshing, very cool. Such a great iced tea. It's an iced tea. I know we had some friends from England, some loopers from England in here. I'm not sure they would have liked the iced tea.
They hate cold tea.
But
when I first started doing tea, I went out. It was a hot summer day. I made a batch of iced tea, and I said, I'm going to go to Blizzard Beach, and I'm going to hand out iced tea. And it was in the summer, so a lot of the UK was over here.
Oh, yeah.
I sat there, and I'm all, hey, would you like it? And they walked, are you mad? Iced tea? No. If you have hot tea, I'd be happy to. I couldn't give the tea away.
Yeah.
It was a valuable lesson. I learned, I don't know as much as I think I know. Red raspberry's a staple. Everybody knows it, and you're comfortable. Try the green blackberry jasmine.
Okay.
You
know what? I've had that. I had that the last time I was here.
That is one of my teas that are, when people try it, oh my Lord, this is delicious.
Yeah.
Talk about that refreshing, and then you get that nice fruit with the blackberry, and then that nice little jasmine finish.
Yep.
You're getting the blackberry up front, and then the jasmine on the finish, and it's a green tea, which everybody thinks green tea is healthier for you. All teas are healthy for you.
There you go.
As long as you don't put too much in with it. But that's my new superstar.
Yeah, it's. I had that last year. I loved it when I had it. And you actually have some spirited beverages. So anybody who wants to come in and get a little, spiked tea,
Does
if you
very
will.
well after 5 o'clock.
And I see there's some Captain Morgan's up there. There's some Grey Goose up there. Some Maker's Mark.
That's our VP of operations, Brian Williams, is I think he wanted always to be a bartender or something. Because he takes my coffee and tea creations and and turns them into the alcohol.
There you go. Well, I tell you what, it works because I see everybody that comes in, they're all leaving happy.
I'm not a drinker, so I can't take any credit for those. That's Brian's doing.
That's all right, and that's, you surrounded yourself with some fantastic people, and we appreciate it. So
I'm blessed to have the people around me I do.
Absolutely. So again, Chris, thank you so much for hosting our very first Looper Meet. I know it was a little chaotic in here. You were actually a waiter there for a little while, bringing us some drinks, which were
I love it.
Incredible. So and superstar of yourself, because a lot of people were so excited just to meet you. They were thrilled that you were here. So thank you for that. So Looper Nation, make sure next time you're down here, stop in Tea Traders. I can't guarantee that Chris will be here, but ask for Elvis. Elvis is a lot of time.
In the building.
He's in the building. And just come on by and say hello. And let them know you're part of Looper Nation. They'd love to hear from you. And grab some of this incredible iced tea. So, Chris, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. And don't forget, we're going to have another Looper Meet coming up. Stay tuned. We've got information on that. It's going to be in the springtime. So, for Tim and everybody in Looper Nation, thanks for coming by on the Looper Meet. And as Tim would say, you've been listening to the Gateway to the Magic. See you, everybody.
All right, Bob, the show's over.
Uh-huh.
You're freshly back from Walt Disney World.
Oh, what a great time.
You booked your accommodations. Where did you book your accommodations?
I went through Tyler at peoplemovertravel.com, and I got to tell you something. As I was heading down there, I got a text from Tyler. I didn't look at it while I was driving.
No.
But I got a text from Tyler asking, do you have any questions? You're starting your vacation. You're booked for tomorrow. Let me know if you have any problems.
And I got to say, we're having fantastic feedback from other loopers out there that Tyler is doing a fantastic job booking them, their travel, and their vacations
at
Walt Disney World.
peoplemovertravel.com. We've got something special coming from peoplemovertravel.com. Book through them if you're going to go to Walt Disney World, but be ready for another Looper Meet coming up in the spring where we might actually get some discounted rates for resorts going through
Tyler at peoplemovertravel.com.